Hey, Melissa here, and I'm coming to you with a topic that is near and dear and personal. And even though Mental Health Awareness Month is over, mental health is always a priority. Now, let me give a disclaimer before I get into tonight's topic. Mindset Mastery, the power to renew your mind. Just as a disclaimer, I am not a licensed therapist or counselor, and nor is this a replacement for mental health services and things of that nature. So again, and it is not an omission of the fact that hey, mental health challenges are very real. These are just practical tips to help you restore and renew your mind daily. Why this topic and why now? So most people know me as the activation coach or speaking. And oh, by the way, if you're new to the room, come on in, make yourself comfortable, have a seat on the purple couch, as my community often does. I want to welcome you if you're new to Activation Nation. This is a variation of the Activation Hour that I'm adding called Mindset Mastery Monday. And most people are used to me talking about public speaking, how to command the stage, how to land speaking opportunities, and activate your voice. Well, here's what I've learned over the last few months personally is that you cannot master your words until you master your mind. You cannot master your words until you master your mind. And so I went on a quest, a journey, if you will, literally for the last 6 months because I started to notice triggers. I started to notice patterns, things in my life that were hindering me from really showing up as my full self. So the tools that I'm going to give you tonight, this is a very practical mindset mastery session. Look at this as our own mini coaching session, and I'm literally opening my journal and my notebook to you for you to get the tools, borrow my tools, borrow my confidence, and most importantly, come ready to pick up a new mindset. Why is this important and why should you care? So, again, like I said, I typically people want to know from me, hey, Melissa, how do I show up more confident? I walk in a room and I say, hey, I'm a coach, I'm an activation coach, a speaker coach, and I help you find your voice and all of that. But most people are like, I'm scared to speak. I'm scared to speak up. I don't know how to show up. And the number one reason why they say is, I am not confident enough. And I'm not just talking about a live stage. I'm talking about showing up at work, showing up in meetings, showing up here virtually where you might already have impact and influence and people who want to hear your words and your thoughts and the things that you have to share in the world. But the reality is, confidence is one of the number one things we need, but so many people lack. But really, what it is, it's not a lack of confidence, it's a lack of courage. And I won't get into that teaching tonight. That's for the next video. Guys, I've lined up some topics because I've been a student of what you're asking me, and I want to be a good steward by showing up and teaching and coaching on the things that you all have said to me in person, in rooms, whether at conferences, networking, my email list, or whatever. And because I knew that through my own journey, I said, God, I can't be the only one dealing with this. If I am dealing with overcoming negative thoughts, overriding an old mindset or old system of thinking, then surely there are other people who are trying to navigate this while still being required and obligated to show up. Come on, somebody. How many of you need to show up every day? Just drop that in the chat if you're here with me live on YouTube. Show up, show up, show up. We're required to show up, right? The world requires us to show up for our assignments, right? Whether we are assigned to a job, we're required to show up in our greatness, in our excellence, in that space, in our jobs. We're required to show up. Somebody type show up. We're required to show up. In our families, in our households, right? We can't just check out on our kids. We can't just check out on our loved ones. We can take a break, but we don't get to just completely check out. And so, what really determines or sets the foundation for your day is how you think in your mind. All right. Or better yet, I'm not going to turn it into a Bible study teaching. At least I'm going to try not to. But it says in the word, as a man thinketh, not in his mind, but in his heart, so is he. As a man thinketh in his heart, which means that your first recourse every day needs to be to deal with the thoughts of your mind and of your heart. So renewing the mind starts with changing the heart. Why is this important, Melissa? I'm glad y'all asked me this. This is important because let's just say you do know me through speaking, or you are aspiring to speak, to coach, to show up on platforms. Well, I'm telling you now, I'm telling you what I know. The condition of your heart and the thoughts of your mind will determine the impact on the stage. That's good. That's so good, y'all. The condition of your heart and the thoughts in your mind will impact the words out of your mouth on that stage. It is so important. It is so important that we create a habit. Come on, that we have a battle plan. I'm gonna call it a battle plan because there's a war for your mind. You don't believe me? I'll prove it to you. I'll prove it to you. There is a war for your mind and a war for your attention and a war for your thoughts. I was attending a conference July of last year with some dynamic speakers that my coach was hosting. I don't remember which one of the amazing speakers said this, but that thing resonated with me, and I had to share that with the masses. And whomever shared it, they said the currency of the world is not money. There's a new currency, and the new currency is for your attention. Woo! Somebody drop a fire emoji behind that. The new currency is for your attention. For your attention. And so, literally, the algorithms are designed not to get you off social media, but to draw you in deeper, consuming the words and thoughts of others. Woo! Come on. It's designed not for you to show up in your confidence, in your bigness, in your greatness, to produce content. It is designed rather for you to consume, not produce. It is designed to consume your mind so that you are now consuming. Come on, consume your mind. It is trying to consume your mind so you go consume. That's good. That's real good. I want you to catch this. And so it's so important. It's so important. And that we show up daily to renew our minds. Now, you may still, if you're still watching and you're still with me, then this is obviously important to you. You may be battling some thoughts first thing in the morning. Here's the thing. I know I'm doing this if you're watching me live in real time, I'm recording this at night. But if I were doing this in the morning, I'll ask you now, because you've been navigating throughout the day, and people have been planting seeds in your mind through conversation, through what you're watching, through what you're scrolling, through the meetings you've been in, the conversations you're having. Okay? And so it's important to take an inventory of your thoughts. Somebody type inventory. To take an inventory of your thoughts. And so because it is important to take an inventory of your thoughts, that is the only way you can assess the quality of your thinking. Come on, quality control. We have to do a quality control check. First thing in the morning, the first light of day, the first fruit. The first fruit of the day are the thoughts you think in your mind. That is the first fruit that you produce every day. The thoughts in your mind. And so what I did, now listen, like I said, disclaimer, I'm not a mental health professional, but I'm very good at documenting the patterns and the cycles of my life. So I understand where God is producing through me. And I also understand where negative thoughts or the things that are taking away from me. And so my daily goal is to always show up in excellence and be greater each day. And the only way I could be greater right now, well, not the only way, but one of the many ways I was determined and I had decided I want to show up in excellence and in greatness, was that my negative thoughts had to be put in check and dealt with. Come on, somebody. I was being robbed. Anybody else being robbed? Anybody else being robbed out here? I was being robbed of my abundance because of my negative thinking. Ooh. See, a lot of times we want to blame the enemy, or we want to blame somebody else, or we want to talk about what other people are doing, but we don't evaluate what we're doing. And I had to break up with a victim mentality about what other people were doing, or what other people, how other people showed up, and I had to look at how I was showing up for myself. And a part of assessing how you show up for yourself is, what thoughts am I thinking about me and about others and about God? What thoughts am I thinking about myself, others, and God? That is so important, because the dangers of an old mind and not walking through this process is that you, number one, you think expired thoughts. You're thinking something old and out of season and outdate. You'll be thinking, hey, you're not qualified, instead of replacing it with the truth and saying, wait, I am qualified. One, because I'm called to do it, and two, because you probably forgot you went and got the certifications from YouTube University, that coaching program, that class, that training, whatever it took. We tend to forget our credentials and let that negative thinking tell us a lie, where there's truth about who we are and what we're qualified to do. Okay? And so Mindset Mastery Monday is all about setting the tone for the week. And so I made it a personal thing for me. It's a daily thing for me, but I'm sharing it with you on Mondays, so that we do this in an intentional and organized way, because I show up here really with my prayer and my hope being that you really master the thoughts in your mind, so you can be a good steward of the words out of your mouth. It's important. Clean heart, renewed mind, with the right words out of your mouth. All right. And so if you're ready, somebody type ready. I'm going to go through these steps with you, and we're going to journal together. This is an active participation. This is an active participation. Okay. Active participation. So I'm going to give you a minute. Go grab you a sip of water and a notebook. Yeah. And listen, if you're riding in your car, you somewhere, you're like, girl, I don't have time to journal, then I want you to still listen, and I want you to go back and do this with me. We're going to do this together. Together, 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 together. And so as I'm queuing up some of our IG family here to join us, I want to share a few points of power. If you're on my email list, I always put the coaching points of power. And I want to share a few coaching points of power with you. Okay. And in those coaching points of power, I want you to just jot them down, get them in your mind, get them in your heart. And we're going to go through those coaching points of power and then journal together. All right. So I'm going to give you a second, and then I'm going to go right into it. All right. So as I'm queuing up those that are on IG Live to participate with us, again, just I want to reiterate, number one, the mind is the first thing that is attacked in the morning. Your thoughts are your first fruits of the day. So you need to inspect and be intentional about your first fruits of the day, which are your thoughts. And remember, as you think in your heart, examine your heart. Have you ever woke up in the morning and literally some of the first things that try to pop up in your head are the things you're still upset about from yesterday? Yesterday's thinking. Okay. I see Tiana's ready. I see she went and grabbed a notebook. I'm so happy to see you on here. I miss you, sis. I hope I get to see you soon. But yeah, some of you have already grabbed your notebook. Just give me like 2 seconds, and I'm gonna get our IG family on here. As we're doing this though, I want you to think about it. What were some of the thoughts you think of in the morning? Or better yet, it happened to me this morning. Sometimes when you wake up, it's like the residue of what you didn't deal with yesterday followed you over into a brand new day. Literally, it's like, come on, man. I thought I left that in yesterday. I thought I left that in last week. And your mind will tell on you, you'll be like, I'm over that. I don't care about them. I don't care about what they did. Somebody pissed you off. They offended you. They made you feel some type of way. Am I the only one? Y'all not gonna talk back to me? Sometimes, your mind will keep score. And if you don't clear the scoreboard, and if you don't reset your mind, you have gone into a whole new day, a new day that God is giving you with an old mindset. You've gone into a new day, not decluttering and emptying out yesterday's thoughts so that you can have an abundance of new blessings, new thoughts, new creativity, new ideas, but the old stuff is following you around. So imagine if you're not doing this daily, how much baggage are you walking around with, filled with old thoughts, old offenses, old mindsets, negative things that you just been either conditioned to think or you haven't put it in check, so you stop thinking it. And so I woke up and there was a conversation I had yesterday with a family member and it didn't go so well. And I was like, hey, I said, you know what? And out of love, I didn't want the conversation to get out of hand. I said, hey, can we pick this up tomorrow? Because I want us to be able to hear and understand each other. They said, you know what? I agree with you. And we said that. But I woke up thinking about it. And that's the first thing. That was my first fruit. My first fruit was to go deal with and put my foot on an offense. What was your first fruit this morning? What's your first fruit every day? And so I make it a habit. Now here's the thing. Y'all see this right here? If you've been hanging out with me long enough, you know I call this my $1 million phone. But that $1 million phone, like I said, attention is currency. And this thing will have my attention. And even though I put all the parameters, the screen time, the blocks, the notifications, to put the phone down alerts and all of that, and try to hide apps from myself, oh, your girl is creative. I'll just ignore. I'll ignore it and I'll still be scrolling. But I intentionally do some things with my phone, with technology, and just some intentional steps to renew my mind in the morning and at night. And I don't sleep with my phone by my bed. And for those of you that use your phone as an alarm, if you got to go old school, get another alarm for a lot of reasons. One is because I woke up with that thought, thinking about a conversation from yesterday and thinking about, an offense or whatever. Imagine if that was the conversation I started my day with, and I just picked up my phone. It's like, hey, you remember what you said yesterday? I didn't appreciate it. I'm like, no. Or what if you pick up the phone and you start scrolling and the first thing you see is gloom and doom or whatever's going on in the world? You have now set the foundation of negativity, of negative thoughts to carry you through your day. Not so. Not so, not so, not so. That's not how we do that over here. That's not how we roll. So, as I get our other family on here, we're going to journal for a minute. I was gonna say journal for your mind. Yes, you're gonna journal for your mind, but we're gonna journal. Why journaling? Why writing? Because again, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a therapist. I'm just telling you what I know and what I've been working on for about the last 6 months. I mean, I'm a firm believer in coaching, therapy, and Jesus. I just am. But the thing intentionally about my journey to reclaim my thoughts and reclaim my mind, if you've been hanging out with me and you're in my community, you know that I don't play about journaling, because there is a cognitive, I don't know what your neurons are doing, but there's a cognitive connection between what you write, what you think, and what you speak. There just is. And journaling has not only been cathartic, it's been healing, but it's been a point of accountability and to really release. It's been a form of release and healing, so that I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, look at how far I've come. It's like chronicling your own story. And so we're going to journal about that. And we're going to get the IG family on here. And they are coming in the room. They're coming in the room too. All right. So I'm going to talk to all of y'all at the same time. Hello, IG family. You're joining in midway. I am talking to YouTube family, renewing your mind. And I've coined this again. If you're just jumping in, I call this Mindset Mastery Monday. And I'm sharing with you how I have personally, through some of these processes, gone on a journey to renew my mind, to renew my thoughts, to pick up a new mind daily, a mind of Christ. And although I could get into a Bible study, I won't do that. But what I will say is that you have to be careful. And I'm doing a quick recap for the IG people, and while the YouTube family goes and grabs a notebook. You might want to grab a notebook if you're in here, because we're about to do some journaling and some hot seat coaching. Hey, Tamisa, good to see you. So listen, here's the recap. What you think in your mind, the first thing you think in the morning are the first fruits of your thoughts. Your thoughts in the morning are your first fruit. So the fruit you produce, is it good or bad? Is it positive or negative? Because whatever you think, your thoughts become, your emotions become a thought. What you feel becomes a thought. And then that thought becomes a word. And that word becomes an action. Okay. And if you don't catch it quickly, if you don't catch it in the morning, then what the enemy does, even what we do, a lot of times the enemy is the inner me. You become an enemy to yourself by not capturing these thoughts. And so we're going through an exercise of this because, again, for the last 6 months, I've been very intentional. If you hang out with me long enough, this iPad is I brain dump everything in here. And if I can't get to my iPad, I definitely got pen and paper in my purse or in my pocket, just somewhere. And so here are a couple of things. I'm gonna go by my notes because this is how much this means to me. I prepared for tonight with notes. So get your notebook and we're ready. And I see several of you on YouTube are ready. So here we go. Dangers of an old mind. Number one, the dangers of an old mind is that you carry around expired, rotten thoughts. Would you keep expired food in your refrigerator? Would you keep expired food in your refrigerator? No, it's going to rot. Your house is going to stink, right? Your cabinets are there's going to be a stench in your house. Is there are you walking around with a stenchy, stinky mind? Do you have expired thoughts that are living and taking residence, like they are full-fledged inhabiting your mind, and it's time to evict them today? It's expired, it's trash, it's got to go. Okay. The second thing is operating on empty. There are thoughts that feed you and thoughts that deplete you. There are thoughts that feed you and there are thoughts that deplete you. Let me tell you how I know. Have you ever thought something and one thought turned into 2, turned into 10, and now you're overthinking? And when you were once confident to go into that meeting, to go into that assignment, to go to that meeting, that conference, you were excited to go on that date. You were excited, but then whatever you thought that you didn't deal with now becomes, it puts you on empty. It becomes a deficit. It depletes you. And so it just robs you. Your thoughts either add abundance or they rob you. They either add to you or they steal from you. You stole from yourself. You stole your moment by thinking negatively. You stole your moment by saying, I'm not ready for that opportunity. I don't know how I feel about showing up in that room to network because I don't know what they're going to think about me. I don't know how they're going to feel about me. Okay. And the other danger of an old mind carrying around old thoughts is that you run the risk. Come on, somebody. Ooh, this is good. Is that the very thing you know you need to show up and say in the world, you now sabotage your voice. You remain silent. And you've now let your emotions become your God. Come on, somebody. Because your thoughts really don't come from your mind. They come from your heart. And what else lives in your heart? Your emotions. Your emotions. And this was something I literally had to overcome. I'm not telling you what I think. I'm telling you what I know. Come on, your coach is walking you through some practical things. People come to me all the time. Melissa, I want to speak. I want to stand on stages. I want to impact people. I want to empower people. And I can tell from that one conversation, the things you say about yourself, the quality of how you talk about yourself is going to be the quality of how you show up to empower other people. And if you are already scared and you are already lacking confidence and you are already being quiet and you are already self-sabotaging, you are going to leak that and spill that on the people you are called to empower because you haven't dealt with your thinking in your mind. Woo! Come on, somebody. Come on. So today, I want to give you some of those tools to deal with it. Okay? So again, number one, that was deal with your mind by getting rid of expired thoughts. Just like expired food, it is rotting in your mind. Just like food will rot in your refrigerator, it is causing a stench and is spilling over to other areas of your life. So people will say, I need to be on that stage. You're trying to build a platform, but you haven't dealt with your thought process yet. You don't have the mindset for the platform because you'll tear it down as soon as you're building it because your mind is not conditioned for the place God is calling you to. I've been there, done that, been there. I can't coach you on what I haven't done. If I lived it, I can tell it. Y'all give me some hearts and some likes. Let me know. Type new mind in the chat if you're ready for the next one. Just type new mind, new mind, new mind. I'm waiting in the chat. New mind. Okay. There we go. New mind. I see it. I see it on YouTube. All right. So here are the things, the tips to do first thing in the morning. Why first thing in the morning? Okay. You want to deal with your thoughts first thing in the morning because it sets the foundation and the tone for your day. But this isn't just about let me pause and pray for like 5 minutes in the car real quick. Let me hurry up and just journal real quick. I'm literally giving you some practical things. If you are thinking things that are sabotaging your life, and it's small stuff. What they say, the small foxes spoil the vine. Small stuff. Well, for me, it was rejection. That's a whole nother video that's coming soon. Dealing with rejection, overcoming rejection, the root of rejection. We're going to uproot that too. Some of y'all are dealing with it right now. Rejection is robbing you. Disappointment has been robbing you. Offenses have been robbing you of showing up in your authentic voice and for the audiences you're called to. And I'm here, guys, listen, I want you to be set free and whole so that you can be ready for your stage. Okay. So here are the coaching points of power to things to do first thing in the morning. Number 1, if your mind is destabilized, then your day starts in deficit. Woo! Negative thoughts come to destabilize you. And if your mind is destabilized, then your day starts in deficit, which means you've already robbed yourself of the opportunities. You've robbed yourself of joy, of peace, of love, of abundance, of your birthright to show up in power, to show up for your audience, to show up for your people because of the negative thoughts you have now taken ownership of. And so now what you have to do is literally you have to give them a name and an identity. Yes, you cannot just ignore your thoughts away. You have to deal with it. It is a war. It is a war against your mind. And how do you deal with war? You load your weapon. And what's your weapon? You call it out. Y'all know how we were like, is somebody call you out for a fight? Oh, you calling me out? Come on, your thoughts are calling you out. And it's an invitation to deal with some things that need to be dealt with. All right. Number 2, when your day starts in deficit, you need to control your thoughts the night before. The night before. It's amazing how, this was good. I caught this in the shower earlier. I was like, you ever catch like your best thoughts when you're like in the shower driving and you can't write them down? But I was like, I'm gonna remember this one because I got to tell the people this is good. That when you'll plan your day, how many of you plan your day? Just by hearts or hands or emojis or whatever. You plan your day. You write down, here's my to-do list. Here are the things I need to accomplish today. I need the top 3 people I need to talk to or meet with. We'll write all of that down. But what if you plan your thoughts like you plan your day? Plan your thoughts. Ooh, that's good. Plan your thoughts like you plan your day. Somebody type plan. Come on. The enemy got a plan to sabotage you. Your haters got a plan to derail you. But do you have a plan to deal with your thoughts daily? Oh, that's good. That's good. And yes, I plan my thoughts. You can. Now, will negative things try to pop up? Yes, but do you have to accept them? No. Even in the word, it says, cast down imaginations. What's an imagination? An untrue, false thing. The word says, hey, think on these things. And the first thing that the word says to think on is whatever is true. Then it goes on to say whatever is lovely, whatever is all these other things. But the very first thing it says is to think on what is true. So here's what I do that I'm telling you will help you renew your mind. Write down your thoughts first thing in the morning. Do a mind dump. Write it down. Dump it out. Get it out. Then take an inventory. You might even want to draw. You can do it right now. We're going to do it together right now. Draw a line down the paper. Okay? And you can write down your thoughts on what is negative. And so what you want to do on the left side, you want to write down the bad thoughts, get them out the way. Let's just get them out the way. And then the good thoughts that we want to take an inventory of. Okay? And so again, we're talking about renewing your mind. And we're doing this real time. This is real time live activation coaching. And many people will come to me and say, hey, I want to speak. But people want to speak, but haven't taken inventory of the words you're thinking all day long. You walking around like the trash man, trash can, and you got negative trash thoughts in your mind. Well, what you think is going to come out of your mouth when God blesses you and anoints you with a platform, and you haven't taken inventory of the negative thoughts in your mind? And so literally, you take a sheet of paper. I wish I was casting to my screen right now. I do this with y'all in real time for my iPad, but y'all can do it wherever you are. Or like take note, like bookmark this and then do it tonight. Do it tonight before you go to bed. And watch how your mind can be renewed overnight. Overnight. Because you can plan your thoughts the same way you plan your day. Plan your thoughts. We plan our calendar, we plan our schedules, but we don't plan our thoughts. You have the power, you have dominion over your mind. You have authority over your mind. So we're going to take authority. Number one, draw that line down a piece of paper. On the left, you want to write bad thoughts. On the right, you want to write good thoughts and just write them down. Or better yet, I don't even want you overthinking. Just get them out. Just write them all down on a piece of paper. I can tell you what I did. Thank you for the fire emojis. I see you, IG family. Listen, what you want to do is take that inventory, dump it out. It's called literally a brain dump for those of us who faithfully journal. I do a brain dump every morning. Because I don't want to, yes, I want to go to God, but it's like, God, for me to go to you, let me get this out my mind. Let me confess it. Let me confess that I'm offended by somebody that hurt me yesterday. Let me dump that out my mind. That's expired. That's yesterday's thoughts. That's not today's thoughts. So that thought is expired. Get that expired thought out. Okay? I see you, Solo Raw. Hey, Malcolm. Hey, brother. How you doing? We doing a mind inventory. We're renewing minds over here. So listen, next thing you want to do, like I told you, I came on here to be honest with y'all because I'm very serious about the assignment to renew minds. Because before people ask me about speaking on a stage, the first thing I'm going to ask you is what's the quality of the time you spend with your own words before you give your words to somebody else. Woo. You think the world is ready for your words when you said study to show yourself approved. Have you studied what's already in your mind? And is your gun locked and loaded with the right words before you go shooting off at the mouth to get on a stage? I can't, every time I've been coaching for 8 years, it'll be 8 years on June the 8th, my God. And in 8 years of coaching, I can tell you without a doubt, hundreds of people, I don't care whether it's speaker coaching, executive coaching, life coaching, it literally takes us about 30 days to even get to their goals because we have to interrupt old mindsets to even get to the goal. And so what you want to do is take an inventory of the negative thoughts. And I had to do it this morning. Number one, the argument I had with so-and-so yesterday. I'm ashamed to say it, but the hour of scrolling, I lost an hour of time just scrolling on social media. Not even something productive, not productive consumption. I wasn't producing, I was consuming. And I was like, oh, like, what did I pick up? I'm so tired of hearing about so-and-so celebrities and who getting caught up with what. That's not my business, not my concern, because I have an assignment on my life. It's expired. That's yesterday's thought. Get that out my mind. I need new thoughts for a new day. All right. What else? Y'all call out some stuff. Y'all better talk back to me. What's some stuff that you know while you're writing this down in real time? Okay. Either we came to show up and be free or stay in bondage. And tonight we're going to be free. We activating some freedom and we opening some mouths and some voices on tonight. Okay. I can tell you one thing, for me, it was my appearance of showing up. Like, I gained weight. I was having some health issues. It was like, I don't want to show up on camera. I don't want to show up on the stage. I don't feel like myself. And I had to, hey, that's expired. The Lord said I am healed. I am prepared. I'm beautifully and wonderfully made. This appointment is for me. This assignment is for me. Woo, thank y'all. Thank y'all for your honesty. I honor honesty. I honor honesty because when it says think on these things, whatever is true. And if you're not willing to speak the truth, then God cannot help you override it. Speak the truth so he can give you in exchange of abundance. Guilt and shame from what I've allowed in my life. Ooh, pass. Yes, guilt and shame is a lie. I deal with that every day. But I have to shut the mouth of the enemy. Shut the mouth of the enemy. Write it down. Be honest about it. I'm going to give it a name. Hey, I'm ashamed of my past. I'm ashamed of what I did. I'm ashamed of what I said. And oh my God, some of us better be glad we not Diddy and our stuff wasn't videotaped and aired out. And the feds ain't coming to our house. This talk is not about him. This is about renewing your mind. But seriously, we're consuming more about what celebrities are doing or saying than what God has said about us and what we're called to do and say for the day. So, all right. So remember, the first thing was get to dump. We're literally, if you're joining right now, I'm doing live journaling, live coaching to renew your mind. Because I realized after transparently, I had some anger issues. That was a generational thing I had to break. But I was like, oh no, anger will not rob me of my destiny. And anger really is a surface emotion with the root of some other stuff, like shame, like guilt, like rejection. And I was like, how am I be in business, working with people, and I got a rejection problem? I need to deal with this. So I went to therapy. I told y'all, therapy, coaching, and Jesus. I believe in that. And so here's your coaching part. I'm not your therapist, and all I can do is point you to the cross to give you Jesus. Okay. But mind dump. Write it down. It even says write the vision and make it plain. You better write the things that are in the way of your vision so that your vision can be plain. You can't even see straight because you're not dealing with the things that are obstructing your vision, which are your thoughts. And then the things that are good. You may wake up thinking some good stuff like, hey, I'm thankful this morning. Gratitude will kill a whole lot of this stuff. It is impossible to be thankful and negative at the same time. Woo! One day I'm gonna go in here and go live and tell y'all the dream. God called me out on my lack of gratitude. He was like, Melissa, you don't have a mindset problem. You have a gratitude problem. So I had to go back and be thankful. So here's what I do. Here, let me give you your practical steps. All right, before I jump off for the night. Don't leave. Don't go nowhere. If y'all with me, just say here. Just say that you here. Matter of fact, say activated. Let me know you activated. Let me know you in the room. I need to know who I'm talking to tonight. Am I talking to y'all? Just drop activated in the chat. I want to know who I'm talking to. Okay. So yeah, you're gonna take whatever you wrote down: guilt, shame, hurt, broken, whatever it is you wrote down on that paper, and you're gonna literally draw one big X. You're gonna X that sucker out. We making a heart, mind, hand connection here. You're gonna physically cross it out. And that is a demonstration, a representation of you Xing out, canceling out. That is your weapon. X out the negative thoughts and throw it out. And you're going to override that. I do this exercise with youth all the time in our Right Now Wrongs program. It's like before I can even teach them to write, we got to deal with the bad thinking first. Remember, we'll have a plan for our day, but we don't plan our thoughts and our words. And that's what we're creating a habit of. That's mindset mastery. All right. So once you put that X over, you want to replace it with something. So if I'm feeling shame, what's the opposite of shame that I want to replace it with? Boldness. I'm not ashamed. I am not ashamed. I'm not. Now, have I been before? Yes. And typically, if there's something that I'm carrying shame about, it's because I have not dealt with the emotion around the issue. And so then just begin to ask God, okay, what do I need to replace shame with? I'm going to replace shame with boldness. I'm going to replace anger with joy. What things bring me joy? So now you see what this goes. This is like, I wish I was casting on the screen so we can write this out together. But y'all get the point. Can y'all practice this tonight and then come back and tell your girl how this worked for you? I already know how it worked for me because I've been doing this the last 6 months, and I'm telling you, it has blessed me tremendously. It's why I'm able to show up tonight. I struggle. Some of y'all on here have been following me and rocking with me for a while, and you're like, Melissa, we miss your lives. Where's your voice? Why are you not showing up? Because I had to deal with this stuff. I had some expired thinking that was trying to follow me on stages and audiences, and I couldn't spill that stuff on my people. I had to deal with me so I could show back up in my power and in my authority and tell you the tools to get rid of the old mindset. It cannot go with you. It cannot overtake you. I told you I wasn't going to get on here and preach tonight. I was really just coming on here to help us renew our minds. All right. So again, here's some questions I want to leave you with. And I will, if you're on YouTube, YouTube family, I will put the questions in the description. And IG family, you can get the questions. Join my email list too, because there's a free journal download where you can go through some of these things yourself. But question number 1, I had you go through the exercise. After you have written the positive and negative thoughts, after you have X'd out, then here's the next thing you want to do. Okay. Remember, this is real-time activation coaching. This is real-time coaching for you to renew your mindset and to get rid of the expired thoughts. Question number 1, what's the first thing you think about in the morning? We wrote that down. So check. We did question number 1. Question number 2, are there old issues from the day before that come back in your mind? So first you want to take an inventory, then you want to look at what's expired, and it's an old thought from the day before and not a new thought for a new day. You know, in the word, when it says, give us this day our daily bread, daily bread is actually words, not food, not, okay. I'm not going to get into a theology teaching with y'all, but one night we are going to do a Bible study. But for tonight, we're going to deal with this renewing your mind in a practical way. Do old issues from the day before come back? Expired, stinking thoughts. You got old thoughts rotting in your mind like old food that you need to get rid of. All right. Number 3, list the common thoughts that race through your mind. Your thoughts have a system. That's why they call it thought pattern. Come on, scholars. Come on, somebody. There's a thought pattern that governs your life. There's a thought pattern in your family. There's a thought pattern in your bloodline. You want to know how I know? You ever catch it? Let me prove it to you. Y'all want me to prove it to you? Somebody type prove it. Prove it. I want to know y'all with me. I need y'all talking back to me. I need to feel that y'all are here with me. Somebody say prove it. Let me prove to you that there are thought patterns and systems in operation in your life right now. You ever be walking around and you say something that your mama say, you be like, ooh, I sound like my mama. Thought pattern, thought system. Like, ooh, that's something my daddy said. Thank you. I see you. I see you, IG family. Y'all tapped in. Yeah, the pure fact that you say things out of your mouth that are thoughts you picked up from somebody else, that is a thought pattern. And if you ask your best friend right now, if you ask your spouse, your partner, whoever is with you most of the time or that you talk to most of the time, hey, what's something that I say all the time? If they could be like, if they say to you a quote or something you say all the time, like, man, please, or what, like, that's a system. That's a thought process. If you have to constantly hype yourself up to go to work every day and you are having negative thoughts the entire time you driving down I-75, I-285, whatever highway you in your city, your state, whatever, and you driving to work every day and you have a thought process of negativity, that is a system. So now you created a thought pattern of negativity attached to your job. Woo! Y'all ever been driving to a party to somebody's house? You be like, I really don't want to go. I really ain't feeling this, but I don't want them to be mad at me. Or I'm going to show up, just because out of obligation. That is a pattern. So you need to pay attention to when you are thinking these things, because there is an undealt with feeling, thought, or emotion. So renewing your mind requires you to study you more than you study other people. That deserves some hearts and emojis, somebody. Do you study you? Are you consuming of your own thoughts and your own mind more than somebody else? If the first thing you do in the morning is pick up your phone, your $1 million phone, come on, somebody, that phone should be $1 million maker, not $1 million taker. It shouldn't be taking you your money, because I'm guilty. Emotional shopping. I'm scrolling. Next thing I know, I'm buying stuff on Instagram, and I'm in somebody's funnel, and I'm buying things that are not gonna build up my life. I'm not producing. I'm consuming. I told you at the beginning, if you just tapping in, I said at the beginning, not my quote, I'm borrowing this from somebody else. I can't remember who said it, but attention is the new currency. So your job is to interrupt the systems and the principalities that come to take your mind. Interrupt the systems and principalities that come to take your mind. And activate, empower yourself with the mind of Christ. Empower yourself with the positive thoughts. And you literally have the power to change your mind. But you have to create a habit of capturing your thoughts. Ah, woo, yeah. How do we capture your thoughts? I'm glad you said it. Call them out. I told y'all I got notes for this thing. I got notes because that's just how serious I am about the mind. Because I believe, this is just what I believe. What I believe is that you earn the right to stand on the stage by being a student of your own words. Standing on a stage and speaking up is an earned right. It's a privilege. It's a privilege because we expect people to literally go make life-changing decisions based on our words when we haven't been students of the very words we're giving to other people. When you want them to believe in you, when you haven't believed in yourself, come on. Am I right or am I right? So the last thing tonight that I want to encourage you to do is go down the list of the things that you wrote down on that piece of paper. Okay. I encourage you to don't just do this like on your phone, get a literal sheet of paper. Because again, I'm no scientist, but I read somewhere cognitively there is a connection between your hand, what you write down, and your mind and your heart. Okay. I'll try to find that article, but that's scientifically there's a connection between those things. Okay. And so it's really important that you go and label your thoughts. Don't you label food that you put in your freezer that you're trying to keep or throw out? You put a date on it. I date my thought. I date my journal. I say, hey, this is what I was thinking today. This is the date. This is the time. Is this true? I'll use myself for an example. Is this true? That I'll give you one. I'll just be honest. Sometimes I'm scared to hit the button after years of live streaming, after years of knowing I know what I'm doing on here. I will still have thoughts that come up and say, ain't nobody gonna show up and listen to you. But y'all are here, aren't you? So was that the truth or a lie? It was a lie. The lie detector determined that's false. Devil lost again. So I could put an X through that. And what am I now replacing that thought with? And sometimes you might need to go get evidence. You ever been, what do they do to find the truth in a case against you? Now, like I said, I could turn this into a real Bible study, but tonight I'm not going to do that. If y'all want me to come back for a business Bible study, I can do that too. Which I feel that in my spirit. I've said that twice. And some of y'all have been asking me because we do that in our co-working groups, business Bible study and prayer. But anyway, you need to override the negative thought with the truth. And the only way you can get the truth is by sometimes seeking it out. I had to go back and watch my old live streams. And by being a student of my old content, when I was praying, like, I just really want to be confident again. I want to get my boldness back. I want to get my authority back. I feel that for somebody that's watching. Now, some of y'all, you're like, man, I'm so tired of being distracted. Man, I'm so tired. Like, I know I'm better than this. I know I have something to say. I know I'm powerful. I know people listen to me. I know I can solve more problems. But man, I'm having a hard time turning that camera on. I'm having a hard time showing up. So what do? Go back and study your old stuff. When I went back, my team brought it to my attention. Somebody on my team was like, Melissa, you got videos with people literally commenting of how this is changing their life. Go believe it. Go believe what other people are saying. Go believe the report. People do show. I don't care if it's 1, 2, 10, 100, 1,000. It's for somebody. So the fact that you think nobody will show up, that's a lie. So you exit out and you put the truth. Nope. People do listen to me because tonight on whatever date at this time, X number of people showed up, and it's going to reach even more people until it reaches the masses I'm called to serve. So I hope this is helping. Is this helping somebody? Give me some hearts and some likes. If this is helping somebody, can y'all do me a favor? If you are activated and you've been tapped in, this just hit me, y'all. I used to do this Monday motivation or Monday mindset mastery years ago. Like in 2018, I used to do this every Monday night. And so I'm glad to come back to this. I'm committed to going back to what works. I'm committed to going back to what works in my life and in my business that God has already gave me. And it's like sometimes that's the other thing about consuming content from other people. You get like a squirrel. You start chasing what other people are doing and all the other things instead of pursuing the things that you're called to. You're chasing the things that you're consuming. So my prayer for you all on tonight is that you get back in alignment and agreement with the thoughts that God has about you, that you get back into alignment and agreement with the truth about yourself, and that every lie that you have thought be cast down and canceled out with the truth. I hope that these practical tools help you to reclaim your mind, renew your mind, think about what's true, and to show up to be seen and heard at work and in the world. So listen, if you're with me, whether on IG, YouTube, whatever, check out my new website, melissadwhite.com. I'm uploading courses, videos, new content there to help you stay activated and be seen and heard at work and in the world. I'm determined to help you be equally successful off stage and in real life. So thank you for showing up, family. Don't be stingy. Can y'all hit that share and subscribe button? I have a whole list of topics that you all say you want to hear from me, Melissa D. White, your activation coach. So either join our community, Activation Nation, on Facebook, or turn on your notifications so you know when I go live. My next topic, we're going to cover how to show up in confidence, not just on stage, but in real life. I'll see you on the next one, family. Good night.